If your eBay sales suddenly dropped, don't start fixing random listings yet. That's usually how sellers make the problem harder to understand. One bad day turns into a bad week, and before they know it, they're changing prices, rewriting titles, turning ads on, ending listings, changing shipping, and blaming the algorithm. The problem, though, is once you change 10 things at the same time, you're destroying evidence. If sales go up, you don't know what helped. If sales go down, you don't know what made it worse. So before you touch the whole store, slow down and work out what actually changed. Because a sales drop can come from very different places. It might be fewer buyers seeing your listings. It might be fewer buyers clicking. It might be them clicking but not actually buying, or market slowing down. And each of those problems needs a slightly different fix. The first thing to check, though, is whether the drop is actually real. Yes, you heard it right. Every eBay seller has slow days. Even strong stores with good inventory don't sell the same amount every day. So don't judge the whole business from one bad afternoon or one dead weekend. Try and slow down. Zoom out. Look at the last 7 days, the last 30 days, and the same period before that, if you can compare it to the same season last year. Are sales truly down, or does it just feel bad because you've had a few quiet days? That sounds basic, but it stops you from reacting emotionally. A one-day dip and a 30-day pattern are not the same thing. Once you know the drop is real, don't go straight to titles or prices. Look at the traffic first. If impressions are down, few buyers are seeing your listings. That could point to demand, competition, inventory mix, search visibility, or even missing listing data. If impressions are steady but clicks are down, buyers may be seeing your listings but choosing not to open them. If views are still there but the sales are down, the issue is probably closer to the offer itself. So things like price, delivery, returns, trust, conditions, or even buyer confidence. You need to know which part of the path broke before you can fix it. The next thing to check is whether anything changed in the store. A sales drop often starts with something ordinary. Maybe you ran a bulk edit, changed a shipping policy, updated a template, relisted a batch of items, changed return settings. Any of those things, that can affect the running of your business. None of those things sound dramatic on its own, though. But if one change touches a large group of listings, it can quietly affect the whole store before you notice. A shipping policy might get applied to the wrong listing. A return policy might disappear. A template might stop displaying properly. So before you rewrite anything, look for the moment where the store may have shifted. Your first job is to find out whether something changed without you realizing it. Then check your active listings for any broken basics. Take a sample of your most important listings, not some random ones. Look at the items that normally bring in sales, the categories that matter most, and anything that you recently edited. Check everything from titles, return policy, quantity variations, everything. Make sure the listing still says what you think it says. This matters even more in a growing store because once you have hundreds or thousands of listings, you can't manage them by memory anymore. You might think that your policies are consistent, but unless you check, you don't actually really know, do you? And one small mistake repeated across a lot of listings can feel like a whole store suddenly slowed down. After that, check the market. Sometimes your store hasn't broken at all. Sometimes the market actually moved. A category that was hot last month might not be hot anymore. A seasonal item might fall out of demand, a trend might cool off. Buyers might still be there, but they may be paying less or choosing different versions of the same product. Search your main categories like a buyer. Look at similar items, current competition, recent sold prices, and how much active stock is sitting there. You're not trying to obsess over every single comp. You're trying to understand whether the problem is happening inside your store or around your store. Now, next, check your inventory mix. This is one of the quietest reasons that sales often drop. A store can get bigger and weaker at the same time. You keep listings so it feels like you're doing the right thing, but the new inventory may not be as strong as the old one. On paper, the store has more listings. In reality, it has a lot less momentum. So look at what you've added recently. Look, there's nothing wrong with slow inventory if you bought it correctly and have the space and cash flow to wait. But if too much of the store becomes slow inventory, sales can drop even while you're working hard every single day. Now, the next thing to check is then the seller performance. One late shipment usually won't destroy a store. One return won't ruin everything, but patterns matter. If eBay or buyers have less confidence in a transaction, your listings become less competitive when similar options are available. Next, look at the buyer-facing side. Are your delivery estimates still competitive? Is your handling time slower than it needs to be? Are your returns clear? This isn't about chasing perfection. It's all about making sure the store still feels safe and reliable. Because buyers don't only compare the item, they compare the whole buying experience. After that, check your listing flow. It's easy to think you are still doing the work because listings are going up, but listing activity by itself doesn't tell the whole story. What matters is whether the work that you are doing is bringing strong inventory into the store. Maybe the best inventory has sold through and hasn't been replaced. Maybe you're still listing, but the items are cheaper, slower, more crowded, or less desirable. Maybe you've been spending more time tweaking old stock than adding new items with real demand. Don't fix everything at once. If you change prices, ads, titles, photos, shipping, offers, categories and templates in the same week, you won't know what worked. Diagnose first, then change one layer at a time.